This video provides a basic tutorial on how to complete the different components of a partogram using a clinical scenario. Starting off with the patient's details, this will be filled in right at the top, like so. Date of partogram completion should also be documented. Moving on to the latent and active phase of labor. According to the most recent version of the guidelines, the latent phase comprises of blocks that represent 2-hour intervals, whereas the active phase represents 1-hour intervals. According to the clinical scenario, the patient was examined at 1 p.m. Therefore, it should be filled in as follows. The first block should indicate 1 p.m., then 2 hourly afterwards, so 3 p.m., followed by 5 p.m., and so forth. At 1 p.m., the fetal heart rate was 144 beats per minute. In the presence of decelerations on the CTG, one would tick yes in the row and denote the type of decel in the second row. EVL refers to early, variable, and late decelerations. There is a key at the bottom of the partogram that refers to this. Next, looking at the LICA, membranes can either be intact or, in this case, ruptured, where we will have to specify whether the LICA is clear, blood-stained, or meconium-stained. We will denote a C as it is clear in this case. The head was palpable 3/5 above the pelvis. That will be demonstrated using this symbol on the 3. The cervix was 4 centimeters dilated. We use an X to show this. Since it is less than 5 centimeters, we can plot this in the latent phase of labor. Effacement is plotted using the cervical length measurement, which was 2 centimeters. This will be illustrated using a dash. Moving on to contractions. On examination, she had 3 contractions in 10 minutes that lasted 35 seconds. So we will be using this key to demonstrate that. Next, the maternal vitals. Her pulse, which was 88, will be recorded using a dot, and her BP, which is 120/70, will be illustrated using 2 arrows, the top representing systolic and the bottom representing diastolic. As urine is passed, you should record the volume as well as the relevant findings that appear on the urine dipstick. In this case, protein was +1 and everything else was 0. In the latent phase of labor, the patient is reviewed 6 hourly, hence the next examination occurred at 7 p.m. For the sake of time, I've already filled it in. Now specifically looking at the cervical dilatation. She is now 8 centimeters dilated, meaning she has entered the active stage of labor. To show this transition, we draw an arrow to the active phase and plot the same information on the alert line for the relevant dilatation. In the active phase of labor, the patient is reviewed 4 hourly until 8 centimeters dilation is reached. Thereafter, they are reviewed 2 hourly, so our next review after 7 p.m. would be 9 p.m. Application and presenting parts are filled according to the key below. Caput and molding should be clinically graded and recorded in the respective rows. In the case of inadequate contractions and subsequent augmentation, oxytocin should be recorded in terms of the units and rate. Any other medication, IV fluid, or analgesia should be recorded in the table below. One should always sign to ensure legal accountability and patient safety. That concludes our tutorial on partogram completion. Thanks for watching.